It's Kyle here, and I've got to see The Last Jedi for a second time, and I've also obviously had a little bit of time to think about the movie. So I'm more ready now to kind of give a more in-depth reaction to the movie. If you missed it, I did post one after I saw it on opening weekend, so that's kind of my instant reaction, but that's more of a gut reaction. And like I said, I always kind of like to have a little time to think about it, and like a second viewing definitely helps with Star Wars movies. So overall, still really love the movie. Awesome. There was a couple elements in the movie I did not like, but overall, like I said, I thought the movie was awesome. Really enjoyed it. It definitely falls in the category of Star Wars movies that I love. Um, Great. I do think I like The Force Awakens a little bit better, but I still love The Last Jedi. That's by no means ranking it behind The Force Awakens. Is not saying I hate The Last Jedi because I really love The Force Awakens. In fact, I rank that as my third favorite Star Wars movie ever. I actually like The Force Awakens better than A New Hope. Um, so let's go into a little bit of what I enjoyed with The Last Jedi. One, the acting was great. There was, in my opinion, no bad performances. There was not somebody in the movie that I'm like, why in the world did you get cast? I don't get this. You're ruining that character. Everybody did an awesome job. So kudos to all the actors. They did amazing. Special effects, mind blowing. There are some stuff they did in some of the space battle scenes were some stuff that I've never seen in Star Wars movies before, and really not in space battle scenes in other movies either. So, way to take it to the next step. I always feel like that's the challenge of Star Wars movies because they're so known for their groundbreaking space battles and lightsaber duels and stuff like that. So I'm sure they always feel like they have to top what they've done in the past, and sometimes that can result in um, sometimes when you aim too high, you almost mess it up, and instead of just trying to do something as good as you did it before, if that makes sense. But the battle scenes were awesome. I thought they did a great job of those. The lightsaber duels were amazing. All that stuff was great. I love the aspect of it. Like all Star Wars movies, the music was great. Even Star Wars movies that I have not liked, like the prequel trilogy, the music's still awesome, and that's definitely still true in The Last Jedi. Um, Love some of the new characters. I'll especially call out Rose. She's probably become the most popular of the new characters in this movie, and she was awesome. The actress did an amazing job. Love the character. Love the concept of the character as kind of a lower-ranking rebel who's kind of in awe of the more heroes of the rebellion and their interaction with the two, and then her realizing that the heroes are just regular people like she is, and she can be a hero as well. So I love that character, and I'm very interested to see what happens with her in the future. So I love that. Loved Ray. Ray was awesome. Ray is definitely my favorite character from episode 7 and 8. Absolutely love her. Finn was great. I felt like I enjoyed Finn's storyline a little bit more in this movie than I did in The Force Awakens, so I love that aspect of it. Poe was awesome again. Humor was great. I think this is definitely the funniest Star Wars movie. I think there's maybe some funnier moments in some of the other ones, but overall, I think this has the most humor of any Star Wars movies. And I never felt like any of the humor came off as corny or just dumb. Like in some of the prequel movies, the humor just comes across as completely stupid. The Last Jedi is clearly they were trying to make jokes, but they did it in a very funny way. It reminds me in a lot of ways of like some stuff they would do in Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that. So I love to see them incorporating humor into The Last Jedi. And overall, I kind of liked where the story ended up. I think it puts the movie at an interesting spot going into episode 9, so I'm very interested to see where that happens. I would say when I was watching it the first time, at several points I was kind of guessing like, all right, this is like the path they're going with the story, and every time I guessed wrong, they threw a little change in there, which kept me guessing throughout the entire movie, and it brought me to a spot that I wasn't really expecting to be going into episode 9. But at the same time, I thought the journey was very worthwhile. Sometimes when movies throw in, kind of twist in the storylines, you almost feel like the twists don't make sense and actually hurts the story. I did not feel this was the case in The Last Jedi, so loved the overall story. I think that's the main points that I really enjoyed. So just to quickly touch on a couple elements that I did not like. one scene that I didn't like at all, and this is a little bit of a plot spoiler, so if you haven't watched the movie yet, which I'm not sure if you haven't watched the movie yet while you're watching this video, but if you haven't watched it yet, you might want to stop watching at this point. I think I've given you enough time. I didn't really like the scene where Leia is in space after the explosion on the ship and she uses force powers to get back in the ship. I just did not, somehow that just did not feel like a Jedi thing. That just felt a little bit more like a superhero type element, and to me it just didn't really feel like Star Wars. So that part I did not really like, but I mean that's a very small part of the movie, so it didn't really lower my enjoyment of the movie a whole much, but at the time I was like, I didn't really like that. And there's still, by far my least favorite character in The Force Awakens was General Hux, and I still did not like his character in The Last Jedi. Nothing against the actor, I think his performance is great. What I really just don't enjoy is, to me, they've never really explained or shown why this guy should be the commanding general of, this army. He's clearly very young, so you think if somebody that young has achieved that kind of rank, without force powers or anything like that, he either needs to be like insanely talented or clearly show off that he just has like good political connections, like maybe he's related to somebody very important from the Empire or something like that. But they just never give you any reason to go like, oh yeah, I understand why this guy's in charge, because he just comes across as not doing anything really strategically brilliant. In this movie, a lot of the jokes were at his expense, which they were all very funny, but at the same time, it kind of hurts his character more. So I would love just some sort of element that kind of like, this is why he's been able to get this far, have him win some brilliant battle, or some remark, some point, explaining how he was able to raise that rank. Maybe it's, he staged a coup and overthrew another general or something like that. Just some reason, because at the moment it's like, I just don't buy him as the commanding general of the entire army. Maybe if he was like a lower ranking general, I could be good, but him as like the overall military commander, I just don't buy it. And I'm trying to think if there's any other elements I didn't really like. I think I saw a lot of people say, they would have loved to see more Phasma. I definitely would have liked to see more of her. I think that's definitely a little disappointed that we didn't get a little bit more of her in the two movies. And like a lot of people, I would have liked a little bit just of what Snoke's background is. Now, would it surprise me now that the movies came out, at some point there will be a book that comes out that kind of fills in that gap? And of course, I know there is a book about Phasma, so if you leave that comment, I know there's a book about her. I've had a chance to read it. I would be interested in reading that, though, at some point. But I would have loved at some point, maybe the scene where Rey and Kylo are talking with Snoke, that there'd been some sort of just a few little lines in there to fill a little bit of his backstory in. It could have just been a throwaway line about what his relationship was with Palpatine. It could have been like, I was actually Palpatine's master, or I was secretly his, another protege of him, or, just, it would have had to been a whole lot, just like one or two lines, and I would have really loved it. But again, like I said, that to me is a very small minor, and I realized later a book could kind of plug that in, and being a big fan of Star Wars books. In the end, I'm not kind of okay with that. But like I said, overall, really love the movie. I think I would say at the moment I'd probably rank it as my 5th favorite Star Wars movie, which I know sounds like, there's only been 9, so it sounds like, ranking it 5th, like I just think it's average. But 6 of those movies absolutely love. So if you're anywhere from 6 through 1, that means I think it's an awesome movie. I slightly like it a little bit better than Rogue One. I actually, this week I rewatched Rogue One purposely to kind of see like, all right, what do I think? Do I think The Last Jedi is better, or do I think Rogue One? I put The Last Jedi a little bit ahead of it. It'll be interesting to see as time goes on if that changes at all. Because I will say on my rewatching of Rogue One, I actually enjoyed it more than I remembered enjoying it the last time I watched it. So who knows, maybe my opinion of Rogue One is going up. But again, like I said, I love The Last Jedi. I've seen it 2 times. I might see it another time before it goes out theaters. We'll just see what my schedule's like. But like I said, overall, I really loved it. And I think the best way to kind of explain how much I love the movie, it makes me really excited for Episode 9. Where if I had not loved this movie, I think I'd be kind of like more bleak and pessimistic on what the potential is for episode 9. And of course, I'm also looking forward to Solo, which I think will be awesome. So that's my kind of reaction to The Last Jedi. Really loved it. As always, remember on the channel, be sure to like the video, leave your comments, subscribe if you haven't already, and may the Force be with you.